wave ridiculously for no real reason at all. Because we're not even live yet. Okay, now we're live. Hi! Welcome. Hold on. I gotta restart. This podcast thing isn't not on the right browser. Sorry, live. This is the key to being live. We're gonna have to. We gotta make changes as we go. That's how this works. All right, we're live. This is proof. I opened my podcast launcher in the wrong browser, and I should have noticed because it was looking different, and I didn't. Okay, we'll start now. Are you ready? Hey, welcome to, this little podcast, the little podcast that could. You're here. And because of you, this little podcast that could keeps growing and we keep going. What a beautiful thing. What a beautiful gift that I give myself, that we give ourselves as we commit to growing and questioning things. How do you want to live your life? Is it even up to you? Do you even have a say? Or has it all been assigned? Now, yes, there are universal factors in which we can't really get out of what we're being called to, but we can deny ourselves the right, the thought, and the idea that we should have the audacity to go after it. We can deny ourselves the privilege of living out in our gloriousness. We absolutely can. And when we do that, life sucks. I'm not going to lie to you. It's not a fun thing, denying yourself your gifts. Okay? So let's not do that. Let's come together right here on the Death of a Dream podcast, in the community. Let's connect because we need more women like this. We need more people who are going to go after what they want. You owe it to yourself. You owe it to yourself and to all the generations that come after you to stand up and start raising your hand. What do you want? It's up to you. It's 100% up to you. I'm only saying that because I didn't actually believe that. I didn't at all. And the start of this podcast was me saying, this is what I want, and I don't know what I'm doing, and I don't know how I'll get there, but this is what I want to do. If I get to pick, this is what I want to do. And you should go ahead and do that for yourself. I can't tell you how it's all going to work out. I don't know how everything's going to work out in my life yet. Here we are. And I think more than anything, you're probably going to be the underdog, and that's okay. Okay? Because Cinderella stories happen, right? It happens. You can't just mark yourself off because it hasn't happened for you yet. Keep going, keep growing, keep pushing. You got this. Okay? Got it? Feeling better? I don't know. All right, let's go ahead and ground ourselves in our greatness. That was like a crazy little... I appreciate you giving me the soapbox. It needed to happen. It just did. You just deserve more. You just do. I can see you. I know that you want more. Right? And not even more. But maybe you just want to say, maybe you just want to decide, maybe you just want to be a part of what your life is. Maybe you just want to do life. And that's what I want for you. I want what you want. Times 1,000. Times 1,000,000. For goodness sakes, I want the things you want. No question. I want them for you. So let's ground ourselves in our greatness, because this practice inevitably lends itself to the importance of us being confident in the things that we are going after, in believing that we can go do those things, and believing enough in ourselves and our own beautifully purposeful path. So yesterday I had a meeting. This microphone's really weirdly close to my face. Okay, I'll back it up. Okay. Yesterday I had a meeting with a friend, and, we've been talking about this idea of something that we wanted to do, and yesterday felt like it was our first step in that direction of becoming whatever that would be. And it felt, this time compared to, and probably a lot of you know what this feels like, when you think of something and then you're like, oh yeah, we're going to go do it. And you never really talk about it again. It's just awkward. This meeting, compared to the million things that we've talked about prior to last night, this one finally felt like something. And it felt so much different from the other meetings. And I think there's a beautiful reason as to why. And that reason really lies in, first and foremost, this gal right here, the one talking to you, me laying down my ego, because those meetings prior were really ego driven. And I think it comes from this new gift that I've gone ahead and given myself. And that gift has made me feel less ego drive around my ideas. So less importance to get all of my ideas out, to make them all happen. That drive just really isn't there anymore for me, because I've given myself new space to feel those things out. I don't feel so hungry to get the idea out and to be heard as I used to. And that's because I have fluidity within my ideas. I have the ability to bring things to life. And so it doesn't feel so life-giving to speak them, right? I'm not just like running around and word vomiting on all these people, because I've given ideas space and time, and I've felt around what that looks like. And so I think the shift came from our friendship developing, right? And then us developing in our own separate ways, and being able to come to the table and have honest conversations about where we have been, and say the things about where we have been honestly, and how are we going to navigate this moving forward, and bringing new truths to the table, and being okay with the fact that people change and grow and develop. And that's such an amazing place to be in. Last night just finally felt like, okay, we've been talking. And every time that we'd meet, it kind of be the elephant in the room. In fact, I would say we probably avoided meeting, because it was like, we're going to talk about another thing that we're not going to do? Nah, I don't want to hang out, right? And so last night we finally did it, and it felt like something that was going to stick. That's how it felt to me. I haven't heard from my friend yet, but I texted her this morning after the 100 texts that I sent her from the time that I got home to, 4 a.m. this morning. And I texted her, you give an Enneagram 7 a bone, because that's how it feels. When there are new ideas, when there are new things that I can be excited about, I'm about to run. So don't come to me with your half-assed thought that you're going to bring something to life. Don't come to me until you're ready, because you better know if I get assigned something, I'm going to have it done probably within the next hour and be chomping at the bit to get the rest of it going. Now, that can be scary for myself, for whoever wants to work with me, for a lot of people, okay? It can be scary. So that's why I'm saying, if you want to work with someone, if you have ideas of something that you want to do together, I think it's so important to make sure that you're very aware of how they're coming to the table and be able to bring those conversations into. It's going to take a lot of realness to develop any relationship. You can't just get into the car, and we talked about this last night, you can't just get into the car and fake it through the experience, because if you show up and you're stressed out, but you show up because you're like, I'm scared to give this weight to my friend because it's supposed to be light and we're supposed to have fun, but you don't feel fun, we aren't going to get there faking it, right? Give in, have those real experiences, have those real conversations. If your friend truly loves you, you'll get through it, right? And they probably do. So be able to come real, be able to grow together, right? And the realness of your relationship will lend itself to further growth. Just keep going in it. Keep growing together. Keep learning. Keep asking questions, right? And you'll find that flow. And last night, I feel like we found some sort of flow. It felt so amazing to finally show up and to leave and feel like we had done something. We had landed on something, and we've been wanting to do that for so long. So that's my great thing. Just forever creating this empire with people I want to work with. I know at some point in my career, someone had said to me, well, you're going to have to work with people you don't like along the road no matter what you do. And I remember just being like, I don't want to. And they're like, well, I mean, you're going to have to. There's difficult people exist in this world. And I said, yeah, but I don't really want to. So, what does that mean? I don't know. I guess I'm going to have to create a world where I get to make the decision with who I work with. Does that kind of suck? Yeah, because that means there are a lot of people out there that you probably aren't going to work with, which means, those people might be the holders of what that looks like. But I think once you curb your ego on this journey, you're willing to do whatever it is that aligns with where you're trying to go, right? You're willing to get there however it's got to look, to do what's on your terms. My terms? I don't want to work with people who are jerks, period. Okay? I don't want to be a slave to a time clock. I want to be able to check in and check out when it feels right for me, and feelings are so important to me as I'm kind of tapping back into that side of myself. The feeling of something is what it's about for me, and everybody's a little bit different in how they approach that, but I think that speaks to this need that I have to not work with people who don't give me a good feeling. That's not crazy. I just don't want to settle anymore. That's my term right there. I don't want to work with people who don't give me a good feeling. I don't want to have to settle from that. I don't want to have to back down from that. I want to be able to work with people that give and get energy. Period. And so I have to develop an instance where that's possible, where I don't just have to settle for whoever I get because that's just the way the world works. I don't want to do that. I don't want to. So that's on me now. What do I want? And that's the bigger part of it. Showing up and saying that. So that's my great thing. Advancing relationships to the point where they kind of outlast that test of time, where they outlast those uncomfortable points to the point where you could potentially be looking at long-term connection, long-term business building. This could be a part of what we do here. So I think that's very exciting. More than anything, just holding on to a friendship, even though you go through different periods of what that looks like, right? And that's going to move right into what we're talking about today. Hey-o. Look at us go. That's my great thing. Go ahead, take time today, whether you write it, whether you sing about it, whether you talk about it, whatever that looks like for you, whatever feels comfortable. Make sure you're taking time to ground yourself in your greatness every single day. You're just going to get better because of it. It's not going to hurt you. Okay? All right. That's all. So dovetailing off of that, today we're talking about what is serving you and what isn't. And this week really has been focused wholly on that idea, right? Like, what do we need to let go? Yesterday we talked about words and the importance of words, and you can read my blog post on words. And one of the things that I talked about in that blog post that I didn't talk about yesterday on here was this kind of guiding principle that had forever guided my path. And I remember hearing this so early on in my life, and it really misserved me. So much so that I think it actually crafted and moved me into this place that just was so unhealthy. I think it really probably steered my ship there unknowingly. So early on I was told, because I had red hair and gap teeth and I was a string bean casserole. I was the skinniest, tallest kid that you ever could see. And I think that didn't really seem to bother me at all. At all. And my mom will be testament to this fact that I kind of forever had this very unaware presence to me, that I just did not care what people thought. It really didn't bother me. And so my mom loved that about me. So many times she would say, like, people would make fun of me, and early on I had just trusted that, as you do when you're a little kid, right? You just trust your instincts. I didn't know that you were supposed to question how you looked and how you showed up in the world. I had no idea. And so I just went. I just was me. Unapologetically, it was just a thing. And as soon as I was impacted by kids, by my own siblings, you jerks, Hillary, Heather, and Michael, you have stained me for life. I can never recover from the hurt that you have done to me. It's what siblings do. But like the second that I was impacted by them, I remember my mom telling me, oh, just say sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can never hurt me. And I did. I clung to that like it was a Bible verse tattooed on my forearm. Okay? Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can never hurt me. And I remember like curling up in a corner, and this makes sense now. It didn't back then, but as my Enneagram self being like, it's okay. There's got to be a silver lining. There's got to be a brighter picture to this. There's got to be a reason that we're going through this. And so I would like reframe myself, but I'm like silently sitting and rocking in a corner, all like 6 foot, 100-pound self of me curled up in a corner, just holding my legs, rocking back and forth. Words can never hurt me. 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 Right? And then I'm like, okay, words don't hurt me. Yay, I'm healed. Wipe the tears off. Get back in there. You got this. Words can never hurt me. And that phrase really framed where I took the rest of my life. And it also created this instance where I just devalued words altogether. And it's funny now because words will literally be how I make my living. But I had devalued words to such a point that I didn't use them with the extreme caution that I should have. And so what I really needed to do was heal myself from this guiding principle that just wasn't serving me anymore. Words can never hurt me. That's not a real instance, words hurt. Period. They do. And so if you're signing up and you're telling people, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can never hurt me. No. Words do and can hurt. And so it's important that we arm ourselves with this knowledge that words come with weight, that they are weighted, and that they do hurt. And if you don't acknowledge and accept the fact that words have hurt you and can hurt you, it's going to be hard for you to navigate this world and get past those things. Because I had been busy telling myself that words can't hurt you. And they did. And yet I was telling, no, they can't. They just don't. Get over it, right? And so I would never sit down and carve that out and really put worth in why I had the limiting beliefs that I did. Well, they came from words that were spoken to me, not even actions, right? Not even anything that was all that tangible other than these beliefs that were just projected onto me so early on, and I had taken those and repeated those beliefs to myself every day. And so you think that it's hard to recover from these things. It's near impossible when you don't actually think that the words that you're saying to yourself are hurting you. And that they can't hurt you. Because they can and they will. And so I had to let go of that guiding principle. I had to. And I want you to go ahead and think through what are the things that don't serve you anymore. Are they limiting beliefs that are on your plate that just really don't hold strong? I was holding on to a limiting belief that I wasn't smart, and I was told that when I was 7. No one is smart when they're 7. That's not really fair, right? But that is the reason that I didn't believe that I was smart. Because I was told when I was 7. Okay? How many of those limiting beliefs are you holding on to that stemmed from an early on instance? How many boys made fun of you about your body, and now you're telling yourself that same thing over and over again? Well, guess what? If you were curvy when you were 6, a 6-year-old boy can't appreciate that. Come on. They don't know what they're looking at. Their only interpretation is what their mama looks like and what they see on magazines. Okay, that's pretty much a 6-year-old's very narrow scope of what beauty is. And yet so many of us are holding on to what we were told from those youth years. So what I want you to do is really think about those things that aren't serving you anymore. Think about them. And don't hold back from going all the way there. Trace your steps all the way back and allow yourself to sit in the pain of that. And yes, that means you may tear up. You may be crying in a corner, rocking back and forth. Words can never hurt me. Words can never hurt me. Words can never hurt me. Let go of that. It's not true. Words have hurt you. So I want you to sit down, think about it. Go all the way there, go all the way back, because it's probably tiered. You heard one thing one time. You go ahead and search for validation of that, right? So, boom, you heard it. Curtis in kindergarten told you that your thighs were big because they were bigger than 3 other girls in your class and his mom's. And so, for the rest of your life, you're searching to validate that belief. You are not searching to prove it wrong until you ask for it. Until you want to change that belief. So what that looks like if you want to keep that belief. Hey, Curtis. Hey, your thighs are big. Oh my gosh, Curtis. Wow, that really hurt my feelings. Okay. Cut to 3 years from then. you're in a class, you're in a mirror, you're trying on jeans. Oh my gosh, these jeans don't go on. It couldn't be the fact that they're three sizes too small. It's got to be the fact that I have big thighs. Curtis told me I have big thighs. I remember that I have big thighs. And then 5 years from then, you're looking in a mirror and you're looking at these thighs and you're going, these thighs are huge. And then you ask, my thighs are big, right? And your girlfriend's like, no, they aren't big. And then you're looking at hers and you're like, but they're big compared to yours, and they're big compared to this person on the magazine. And so, you know what? And even if your girlfriend said, no, they're not big, doesn't matter. You don't believe her. You're trying to validate the belief that you hold, which is that you have big thighs. So you're passing over her. She told you something that wasn't helpful in trying to validate that belief. So you're going to go ahead and push her aside. Thanks, Susie. You're nice. I really like you, but I don't believe you. Okay. That magazine cover. Those are small thighs. These, on me, not small. Okay. Boom. There. Validated. We're good. Go ahead and keep going. Find yourself a model somewhere. Go ahead and follow them on Instagram. Go ahead and find yourself a couple of friends on the book that show pictures in their swimsuits, and just take yourself down that misery path. Let's go there. You know what? We really haven't made ourselves miserable about how our thighs look lately. We better go there. I want you to trace that back and then allow yourself to let it go. Release it. It's not serving you anymore. And how do you release it? First, trace it back. Just find it. Find where it even comes from, because finding that and even living through that hurt, and it's going to be painful, especially if it's really deep rooted. That's how you know you're getting somewhere. If it really hurts for you to dig up these memories, you're a step closer. And I don't want you to be in pain, but sometimes it takes pain and perseverance to get through something. So don't shy away from going all the way there. Find where it came from. The second that you find it, you'll probably realize how dumb it is. Because it probably stemmed from just some random person saying one thing to you and you don't even know who that person is anymore. As hard as I try to go back to that place, I cannot remember who that teacher was that said that to me. Might not have even been a teacher. I know it was an adult, but I can't remember who it was. And you don't have to know and I think that's almost even more significant in all of this. A lot of times the things that are guiding and shaping our lives at this point were shaped from people we don't even know or remember anymore, or from people who are sitting in bars still complaining about the same things they were complaining about in kindergarten. Come on. You are so beyond and better than that. Okay? So you're going to trace it back. You're going to feel that pain. You're going to go there. Once you do, I want you to release yourself from that. It's no longer serving you, whatever that thing is. It doesn't serve you anymore. Isn't helpful. I want you to let it go. Okay? And I want you to think about what you want that new belief to be. All right? So we can use the thighs thing. I want my new belief to be that my thighs look incredible. Okay? If that's the new belief, you will start to look for that. What I need you to do is not allow yourself to go back into that old one, and this is going to be the hard part, right? This is where we have to let that go. It's not serving us. We can't go back there. Okay? So anytime that comes up, I need you to rebuttal it with your new belief. Hey, I hear you, Curtis. And I hear that my thighs look bad. But my thighs serve me well. Right? And that's where you can go. You can shift that. You can start looking for those things. Right? And maybe they don't look great today. But what is a belief that you can settle with right now? All right? Maybe they carry you. And maybe you can recognize and acknowledge and appreciate your thighs for doing that work. Maybe they're beautiful because they do that. right? Find something you can acknowledge and appreciate about where you are right now with whatever that belief is. And start shifting. Start shifting that belief. And it comes as simple as that. You have to let go of the things that aren't serving you, right? And that could look like friendships. That could look like relationships. That could look like beliefs. That could look like a whole number of things. But start tracing through and looking at what is and isn't serving you. What a good measure of that is what drains your energy and what gives you energy. And go ahead and take time to look at those things. What serves you? What helps you in this world? What brings you energy? That's so important in your life. As always, you're smart, you're strong, you're beautiful. What are you going to do? Change the world.